Conservative MMA peeps, what's up? It's me, John D. Villarreal, the MMA expert and the 4-time national champion, and Paula Villarreal's over there. So now, we've been talking about this whole thing with Brock and his illness that has cropped up again, the diverticulitis, and we've been talking about how Brock has to now pull out of UFC 131, and he is, apparently, from what we understand, the rumor is being replaced by Shane Carwin to fight Junior Dos Santos. And we want to talk about that. If that fight goes down, first of all, our personal opinion, not alleging facts, not casting aspersions, all for entertainment, parody purpose only, check disclaimers. I want to predict that fight and handicap that fight right now. This is an early prediction, so we'll have a later prediction later as the fight gets closer. Now, the thing of it is that Shane Carwin has a very short time to prepare for this. Maybe, whatever, around a month or something like that. So that's a very short window. So that's one thing. Junior Dos Santos has been preparing. Been on, you know, he coached the Ultimate Fighter there with Brock. This is an interesting matchup. Okay, my initial reaction is, you know, Shane, I think in a lot of ways got humbled by Brock, and I think there's, you know, that exposed some maybe fitness or cardio issues potentially. Punched himself out. At the same time, tremendously heavy hands, as we've seen. And I think that, you know, Shane Carwin, with his wrestling and his strength and his size and his heavy hands, if he can, you know, execute his game plan and have the cardio, I like Shane Carwin in this fight. I think that the guy just, you know, you're now able to match or frankly exceed Junior Dos Santos' strength. And I think that Junior Dos Santos is going to have some problems. Now, that being said, Dos Santos has better cardio than Shane Carwin, but I don't think he has wildly better cardio. I think he probably has better movement, better range, you know, a little slicker, but does not have the same level of punching power. Dos Santos has good punching power, very good punching power, but not Shane Carwin level of punching power. So I like Carwin in this fight. I do. Do I like him a whole lot? I don't know. You're talking about a short training camp. So now, if Carwin has an issue with the cardio, you exacerbate that. And, you know, you have to train for fights. You know, so there's no doubt about that. But, you know, he has some time to train here. Carwin is a little bit older, you know. So, yeah, I like Carwin. I'd say right now, just right off the cuff, being announced, short training, you know, this and that, whatever, I'd say 60-40, and based upon the matchup of these two guys, I don't think it's going to decision. I think definitely someone's going to get stopped. So if I have to predict this, I'd say 60-40. Carwin stops Dos Santos, but, you know, this is an early prediction. And so I think that the fights either goes Carwin stops Dos Santos or Dos Santos stops Carwin. I you know, very, I'd say less than 10% chance this goes to decision. And that's what I think right now. Paul, what do you think about this fight? How do you break it down?
I agree with what you said. Carwin obviously is the bigger, stronger fighter here. I'm not sure who hits harder. They both hit pretty hard. Carwin hits extremely hard. I got to tell you, though, my gut reaction was I was kind of leaning towards Dos Santos because of the speed and the boxing skill. Now, Shane Carwin has excellent boxing skill. Don't get me wrong. He can jab, right hand very well, extremely well. I agree with you. I think it's somewhere between a 50-50, 60-40 type of fight. If I thought about it more, I'd probably lean a little bit more towards Carwin. If he can get some wrestling going, get some takedowns, whatever. He doesn't really fight a lot like that these days, but he can do that. I don't know why. For some reason, it's just the first thing that came to my head was that, you know, Dos Santos' speed is going to get Carwin, and he's going to be able to tag him with some shots. I don't know. Also, the short training camp, as you mentioned, for Carwin.
That's a problem.
There are cardio issues or whatever there, that can be a thing. Look, if Carwin can get his hands on him, certainly he can win the fight. If he can hit him, he can win the fight. I mean, definitely has that level of power. We know that.
Yeah. Well, and the thing of it is Dos Santos, you know, has one punch knockout power, but not like Carwin. Carwin literally has one punch knockout power. We've seen that against Gonzaga. We've seen Carwin knock dudes out when he was hurt. We've seen Carwin, you know, smash Mir up against the fence with just short shots. He doesn't need much. I think that Carwin is going to push this up against the cage and do a Mir type of fight and try to muscle Dos Santos. And Dos Santos, I think, is not going to... Look, you know, Big Country Roy Nelson, who's very good, by the way, was getting there on Dos Santos. And Dos Santos wasn't able to take him out. So, until later, okay? So Dos Santos, you know, wasn't like, you know, I think that Dos Santos doesn't have the same power as Carwin. I agree with you that he can't have the speed. If Dos Santos is able to establish his jab and speed and movement and keep the fight standing in the middle of the ring, I think Dos Santos is going to do very well. And particularly as it goes later. I think if Shane Carwin is able to get close and muscle him, put up against the cage, let alone on the ground, I think it's all Shane Carwin, especially early.
Yeah. I agree with you. Look, the more I'm thinking about it, the more I lean toward Carwin. For some reason, like I said, my first reaction was leaning towards Dos Santos, but yeah, I certainly can see the scenario you're laying out.
Yeah, so it's interesting. What do you fans think? I mean, we have a whole different situation here now. You've got someone that's very experienced. You've got, I believe the records are, yeah, they're identical, 12-1 for both of them. This is a very interesting, but you tell us what you think. I want to know right now. Comments below, subscribe above. I'm John D. Villarreal. That is Paul. We're Conservative Media, and we will see you next time.